So if you go to this video on COE, I will post links to this. It's available on the internet, and you can check it yourself.
This lady over here should like to ask you a question.
Yes, sure.
I was just asking you, so after all of this, what is your end goal?
This is it. What's your objective? Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I wanted to show certain people that classical Islamic law does argue for offensive jihad, because there are some people who try and want to whitewash classical Orthodox Islamic law and claim that it is entirely in self-defense. But that is not what the actual classical jurists believed.
Why do you want everybody to think? Why are you trying to have everybody understand that? Is it
Because
because you want to make peaceful Muslims violent, or is
No.
it because you want to turn non-Muslims against Muslims, or why do you want to strengthen division?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see it that way. I want to show that there are certain people in this society who are advocating for classical Islamic law and are calling to it and saying this system of our jurists, of Ahmed ibn Hanbal and Ash-Shafi and Hanafi, that these legal systems are so much better than secular, modern, liberal, humanist law. And I want to show, like, in several instances, classical Islamic law is so much worse.
Well,
Okay?
are you saying that's the majority of Muslims and what they believe, or what?
Yeah. Sorry, please continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I was just asking you, the majority of Muslims, is that what they believe, or do you know the true word, or are you picking what you want people to perceive, not giving the good and the bad, rather just showing the bad of it? And when it came down at a certain time to fit a certain group of people, and it was doing that just to let them know how to basically be just to each other.
Okay, so as for the first question, most Muslims today do not believe in offensive jihad. Okay?
It's good.
Yeah.
And
We can all agree.
yeah, that's
So
obvious.
why-
I believe that most Muslims are actually better than the authentic version of their religion.
Okay.
Because within Muhammad's own time, this was actually practiced, especially in the last couple of years of his life. If you actually look at the historical record of his battles, the people he attacked, recorded in books like Kitab al-Tabakat al-Kabir and the History of Tabari, various books, it will show kind of offensive jihad being carried out. So I believe that most Muslims are better in Islam, basically.
So when you're preaching the word of God, are you preaching to get people an understanding on truth and unity, or why are you preaching the word of God?
One aim I have is to show people that Islam is not from God, that it actually contains much injustice within it.
But isn't that same injustice in some of the Bible verses and some of what the Bible
Yes.
has done
Yeah,
during the century? Looking at how the Bible was used to whitewash the whole of the world, has Islam done that, gone around the whole world and actually done that, or rather tried to get people into unity, to try and get people, if you actually understand the fully truth, the only thing Allah tells you is to accept people. Accept them whether you're white, you're black, you're ugly, or whatever you believe, as long as you're turning back to God, it is the truth.
Okay, yeah. So the Bible, I believe, is a more evil book than the Quran in terms of the stories within it. Like, there are stories in the Bible where God commands the Israelites to commit genocide, for example, and the Quran contains some unjust teachings, but not as bad as that. Okay.
So we can agree there's truth in all of the books.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe not Jainism, for example, but
I don't know what that is.
well, it's a kind of a religion of the Indian subcontinent, which
Okay,
places a
I'm
high
talking
value on
about-
pacifism.
I'm talking about in Islam as it talks about the people of the book. You're a people of the book because you're a Bible. I believe the truth that you bring up.
I'm a mushrik. I'm an
I
agnostic.
don't know what that is. Okay.
I don't believe I don't believe in the book. I don't believe in the Christian or Jewish scriptures.
Okay. So what book do you read?
I don't believe religious books. I believe that they're all made by man.
But man inspired by
But do you know
God.
the Quran came from God? Do you believe in that? Or you
No, that's false.
Okay, you believe that it didn't come from God.
Yeah.
And then what you're talking about, the classical Islam,
Yes.
there's nothing classical Islam. Islam, the Quran itself is very classical book.
Okay.
And it's a way of life. So people who live the life according to that are very classy, but it is in the true sense of that book. But when you're talking about the classical Islam, which is like for separated by a lot of human beings. That
Okay.
we don't follow that. The Muslims don't follow that. They follow just one book, which is Quran. What you're reading there
Is other books
not
which
in
are made by.
Quran.
Okay.
If you
It's
bring
not in
something
Quran.
from the
And we
actual
don't follow
Quran,
any
these
other
are
book
books
than
that
Quran.
were made by
Yeah.
other men.
Okay, sure. So I fully agree that many Muslims have a different understanding of Islam that is much more peaceful than what I have said.
There's only one understanding of Islam, which is Quran.
Well, I know. There's Sunni and Shia have different
Of course, there's
understandings.
so many sects, but even
so-
Christian, there's so many sects.
Okay, no, but she said there was no.
The
But no, we're just
Salafis
trying to
see
get
the
to
teachings of
But-
Muhammad
but
in
Allah
Sahih
doesn't-
Bukhari as
but
something
Allah-
necessary.
but Allah never divides
What
you.
is your
Allah
angle?
never
Why?
doesn't tell you
So
to
the
be
lady
in
here,
sect.
How do
she's
you
a
know?
Muslim, and
Because
she doesn't
in
engage
Quran
in
there is
violent
no
jihad,
sect.
and she's like us. And that way, I'm
We-
actually
we are
agnostic as well
supposed to
with
follow
Islam.
just
The question
Quran
isn't
book.
what is in the Quran or what's not in the Quran. The
What is
question
the
is
Quran?
what is being
No, I don't.
No, if
So
I
why
practice,
is it
no,
important
if
for
I
her
practice
to
something,
see a
if I do
different lens of
something
her own religion? She's
outside
chosen
of
her own lens.
Constitution
Well,
of UK,
that is
a bit intolerant
doesn't
to
make
try
the
and-
UK Constitution
I don't think
wrong.
so.
Okay, so the
No, I
Salafis
think I'm actually clearing. I think I'm clearing up misinformation
What?
because I
Sorry,
think
say again?
people at the
Sala-
moment often have
the
a
Salafis are not real Muslims.
a view of
The
Islam
Salafis
which
are
is
not
too
I don't know
generous
Salafis or
and
whatever
which
you're
isn't,
talking about because
which
I
is kind of
only follow
misinformed.
Quran.
No,
Because-
I don't
follow the
believe in
sect.
any
If you
sect.
don't know the sect, how are you speaking for the sect?
Because I know my Quran, and my Quran doesn't divide
It doesn't
people.
matter if you know the Quran or not.
No, why
You
not?
need
It
to
does
know
matter.
the people
It does
who
matter. What
practice Islam.
matters is we all need to know Quran and not the sect. People who are focusing on sects are not focusing on Quran, and that's where they are losing their track. No, I'm not calm. I'm just communicating, right?
Islam
a normal
means
liberal Muslim
how
throughout
the
the world.
people practice it.
You're actually
No,
amplifying a very
Islam is
different
a way of
point.
life, and
doesn't
you're
matter what's
supposed to
written
live
in
your
the Quran.
life.
It matters how people practice.
How can you say
In
things
the
that were
Bible
written in
where I
Quran?
read, it said
All that
the
matters for a
basis
Muslim is
of
what is written in
Christians to
Quran.
come and talk to
Is
the
it
people.
written in the Bible
Spread
to
the
practice
good- the
pedophilia
goodwill
on
of
the
God.
children?
I don't know.
When you
I
come
haven't
and talk about this
It's
and
not
you're
written,
talking
I
to
can
people,
tell you that.
I
are
believe
you
you.
showing
Whatever
the
you
good
tell me, I
And
believe
yet,
you.
and yet,
Is this the
we get
Quran
the
God that you're
Catholic
showing?
priests
I'm
practice
showing bad
pedophilia on
parts of
children.
Islamic
But they
scripture.
Are they falling? Are they actual
Then
Christians?
it's a
Are they
human
actual
failure.
Christians?
The whole reason why people are lost. Why are you still bringing it up?
No, because there are people who believe that this is the truth, and I need to expose that.
You know those
Yeah, I was talking to one earlier. I was talking to two of them earlier. You know the tall guy, Mohammed Hijab? Yeah, he said, I am a Hanbali. He said that he follows the Hanbali madhab, the Hanbali school of law. And so I was showing him, well, this is from the Distinguished Correspondent, but I also have a book from the Hanbali madhab. And so I have to show him, like if someone says, I'm a neo-Nazi,
Talking about
okay,
sects and
he says,
dividing people.
I would want to show them, look, this is in Nazis, this really is
There are other
evil.
Muslims,
So I'm trying to make people better by showing these
What
bad
do you mean
parts.
actual?
Some of
So
them
that
don't
they will
consider
just
the other Muslims as
Right
actual
now,
Muslims.
we're in London, yeah? You're preaching this which
You
comes
follow
from
Quran. If you don't follow Quran, you're not a Muslim. It's as simple as
Yeah, but
that.
the way you follow Quran means what kind of Muslim you are.
Then you are a bad human being or you're a good human being. You are a
Okay,
human being
which
with your
of
own
the
mind.
sects is the correct one? If
I
there's
don't-
one
I
way
don't-
you're
I don't
following
care
Islam,
which
what's your
sect
sect?
is
What's your
good.
sect
I
of
have no
Islam?
sect. I'm a Muslim. That's it.
Okay, so why
I
are there
know-
many sects? Why do they have different
I
names for
don't
different
know.
sects of
I don't
Islam?
know. I follow my Quran.
Well, if you don't know
and
it,
there are a lot
research
of,
it.
and also there are a lot of things I don't follow in Quran, and I know they are wrong or they are good. That's a different thing. If I
hear you.
don't follow something, that
Come here.
doesn't make my religion good or bad.
Bro, come on.
That can make
You
me
walk
good or
here.
bad, right?
How do you know? Why do you talk about what? Water?
You know, in the 14th century, 13th century.
I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I'm an agnostic. It's a person who who's not certain about the existence of God. I don't assume that I have all the answers about the world. I am free for evolution in my mentality. Why don't you come here? We can talk about this. Okay, whatever. But listen, guys, there are many different sects of Islam. There are many different ways of practicing Islam. What? When I get ill? Bro, seriously, I can't hear you. I'm not making this up.
What does that mean?
This? Oh, this is the symbol that I chose to represent myself as one of the characters on Speaker's Corner. You know, it comes from the symbol of Ukraine, which is a trident. And I made many different protrusions, like horns and teeth, because Ukraine has been a very weak country. A country that was manipulated by Russia, by the West, by many different... Sorry? They do allow Islam. Yeah, they do. They have Crimean Tatars. They're Muslims. Bro, come here. Okay, now you stepped on the mine. Now you stepped on the landmine. When the Soviet Union ended, the Russians wanted to send the Crimean Tatars somewhere else because they don't want anything to do with them. The Ukrainian president accepted the Crimean Tatars into Crimea. He accepted them from Russia because Stalin had moved them to Russia previously. He accepted them to Crimea so they could live in Ukraine. It is true. We accepted the Muslim Crimean Tatars in Ukraine. And when Russia, you know, now Russia occupied Crimea with force of arms. They've occupied it. So what do you think about that? The freedom of Muslims in Crimea has been put by the risk, by the Russians, by Putin. Putin has invaded lands inhabited by Muslims. What do you think about that? Come here, Shamsi, come here. Come here, my bro, come here, let's talk. What's up? You don't want to waste time, okay. It's funny how everybody doesn't want to talk because their time is very precious. Oh, you need to pray, right? I think, come here, bro. Huh? Yeah, we're buddies, man, we're friends. I held this thing a while ago. We're helping out each other.
Did you hurt
Very
yourself?
good. How are you?
Did you hurt yourself?
What happened to your...
I was playing football and then I went gym. I saw a debate between you two, and you understood Islam much better than this guy.
Okay.
You understood the
Wait, which one?
The one when you showed us about the revolution.
By the way, this guy.
Congratulations on the Algerian
Yeah, he's a hate preacher because he doesn't agree with Muslim preachers. He's a hate preacher.
Some people say that.
Go back to your country.
Don't do it. Do you like to the bed?
Don't be rude, guys. Don't be rude.
Okay, you can let that.
There's no need to be rude.
50 minutes of discussion with me.
First of
You
all,
run away.
First of all,
Yes.
you are a person who doesn't want to learn.
No. You are more dangerous than Daesh. Yes. If Mohammed bin Salman or Bouteflika or whoever told you to kill people, you would do it.
Okay, listen.
Because Wali al-Amr, Ta'at Wali al-Amr.
He said something.
Yes.
He said, wait, because in the camera, I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna.
What's with the stick, by the way?
Don't worry about that. He said, if Mohammed bin Salman tell me to kill someone, I will kill him.
It's part of his aqidah.
You're a liar.
Wallahi, it's part of your aqidah.
Okay, so imagine that
I know
you're a liar.
your aqidah very well. It's part of your belief.
So now, therefore, logic
Do
dictates.
you believe you should follow Wali al-Amr? No matter what he tells you to do, yes,
Okay,
you do.
listen, he said, do you believe that you should follow Muslim leader, whatever he tells you to do?
If he tells you to
that
kill,
is
you
not
kill.
true.
That's what the Madkhali say.
Okay.
Kill.
You said that about me.
You're
Have you heard me
Madkhali.
saying that?
You're a Madkhali.
No, wait, have you heard me saying
I said
that?
it's your aqidah.
No, have you heard me saying that?
Denounce the aqidah of the Madkhaliya.
Wait.
Denounce the aqidah.
You accused me.
In Libya, the Madkhalis are killing
Look,
with
it's changing. See how it's changing now. You
No.
accused me.
I
Have you
said
heard me saying
your
that?
aqidah is dangerous, yes.
Have you heard me saying that if
It's
a
like
leader...
saying I belong to Daesh, but okay, that particular person may not blow himself up. but
Okay,
you
no
have the
problem,
beliefs.
no problem.
You have the beliefs of someone very dangerous.
Sheikh Rabi',
Yes, he has the
okay.
belief.
Okay, wait.
The Madkhalis are killing people in Libya because they follow the rulings.
okay,
from Saudi
wait,
Arabia.
listen to this.
Yeah.
Can you show me where Sheikh Rabi' said, if a leader tell you to do whatever... No, let me finish, because I'm going to expose you to the biggest liar. Can you show me where Sheikh Rabi' said... I
Why
want
just
to
Sheikh Rabi'? There's other Madkhalis.
okay. No. Show me where Sheikh Rabi' Madkhali
Yes.
said that whatever the leader tell you to do, you should do it.
Yes,
Go
they
on.
said you follow the leader. You
Yeah, guys,
obey the
prove
leader.
the evidence. Quote.
I don't need to, this is the belief of Madkhaliya.
Yeah, show us the proof.
I haven't memorized Rabi' al-Kharaz's words. Yeah.
This is just an embarrassment for the liar.
No.
So can you say I'm lying?
No, I'm
Where's
not.
your proof?
Where's your proof?
No.
He's asking you for
You're asking
Where's
me
the
for a
proof?
particular speech of Rabi' al-Madkhali. I am telling you that in the Aqidah, I used to
Yeah, which book?
memorize.
Which book?
I used
Which
to
book?
memorize Muhammad
Yeah,
ibn
which
Abdul Wahhab's
book?
books. I know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can. You.
Yeah.
Be quiet. There's no.
You're lying.
You know how to speak. as well.
You're lying.
Yeah, you do not.
You are lying.
No. I'm not.
Can
lying.
you give us a reference
So
where
the Madkhali
No, before
Aqidah.
asking me the question.
So the cult of Madkhali does
before
not
asking me
believe
the question.
we have to kill in the name of the leader.
No, you're afraid. We don't believe that. That is a lie.
You do believe
so
that.
now
You
you
do
made a
believe
claim. With the camera people
it's your
out
aqidah.
there us waiting for you.
No.
Can you show Anwar?
يا أخي
Anwar.
go dance with مدخلي ولا حاجة.
What dance?
I don't know, he's annoying. Shamsi, the crux of the matter is...
Not the crux of the matter, don't your subject.
You talk
You
about
made a claim,
No.
show us the proof. It's like someone saying, in the Quran said this and that. When you ask him, who is in the Quran said it?
You come to the
Can
park,
you show me the
lie
proof?
to the people.
Bro, you made the claim.
You tell them...
Did everyone hear the claim? We're still waiting for what? For the proofs. Can you give us the proofs?
So you don't believe طاعة الحاكم?
No, don't ask me a question.
You don't believe طاعة الحاكم? So you don't believe it's a mubtadi'?
I'm not asking a
You call
question.
every scholar in the Islamic world an innovator if he doesn't believe
He's
unconditional bowing
don't
down
change
to the ruler.
it. Don't change
No,
it.
this
You said, look, I'm going to repeat and remind
This
you.
is the reality.
I'm going to remind you what you said. You said Shamsi believes.
Sheikh al-Rais, okay, I'll give you good.
No.
He said even
It's
if
not-
the
it's
scholar
not-
goes on live television
Sheikh
every
Rais
day.
is not my sheikh.
No, he's a madkhali. He's a
not- it's not-
madkhali. He said even if
There's
he
no
goes on
such a called
television
madkhali.
every day and commits zina, probably with his sister, Allahu alam with who.
Whose sister?
He said Rais.
Who's sister talking
if you
about?
go every day,
No.
commit
Who's sister
zina,
talking about?
Rais said every day you
No,
go.
who's sister talking about?
Any sister, any of our sisters.
He's a clown, this guy, man.
No, Shamsi, come back, don't run.
Well, let's go. This guy is a
Shamsi,
liar.
Shamsi.
Have respect
Can
when
I-
you speak to people. You speak about people's sister.
Shamsi, not your sister.
No, forget about my
Any
sister.
any
Why are you talking
sister.
about people's sisters?
Well, that's what Rais said. If the
about
Hakim
his
does
sister.
dinner with someone's
He's a
sister,
kebab, he's a liar.
you obey the Hakim. You live with him.
You should bring the proof. He lives with his claim, but he doesn't bring the proof.
You don't live with him. You are a madkhali. You are a madkhali. He has to define madkhali.
I'm asking you to define it.
Madkhalism is a cult that believes in unconditional worship of the ruler. So why are you saying you're not the leader of one of the leaders of Rabi' al-Madkhali?
Okay, so where does he say unconditional? That's the stipulation.
No. They say follow the leader. No.
Unconditionally.
No.
Don't speak.
They say do not rebel against the leader. Do not disobey him. Not even if he's an oppressive leader. Even if he does whatever he does, he rapes your wife, you still go with it.
That's what you play. Where does he unconditional?
And if he rapes your wife, that is almost an unconditional form. Yeah, okay, we'll do the condition after.
Come take over everything from your humanity.
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
The part put forward. ISIS and Islamophobes. There are two entities in the world who agree with that version of Islam. ISIS and Islamophobes. And these are the two entities I would never indulge in debate. To give them the respect to have a debate with them, they don't deserve it. Thank you very much.
He's running away from the debate. Look at this coward. Look at this loser.